The World Festival of Animated Film Zagreb, better known as Animafest Zagreb, is one of the world's top animation festivals. Today, we invite a renowned director of Korean origin whose works were invited to the event in Croatia's capital last month. It's a former Pixar animator and Oscar-nominated filmmaker, animation director Erick Oh, who's joining us in the studio. Welcome, Director Oh.
Welcome, Director.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Happy to have you on the program.
Thank you.
So let's start with the most recent big event, the Animafest in Zagreb. So that was held at the beginning of June. So what kind of your films were introduced there and how was it?
First of all, it was my first time there. My films have been screened previously, but it was my first time attending it in person.
Oh, wow.
It was incredible, you know. The weather was nice, people were nice, and as you said, it's one of the biggest, prestigious, festivals in the world. So, had a blast. And then the film is called Supper. It's a very experimental short. Talks about humanity, a bit of absurd life of who we are, reflection of humankind, and those kind of things. And then, that's the film I got to screen over there. Yeah.
So Supper, that was screened for the first time in Zagreb?
Yes.
And there were also some other of your films that you earlier had screened at other festivals as well, weren't there?
Oh, you mean the Supper film? Like
Supper and also opera, I guess?
Right, that's true. Yeah, basically, there were a couple of other films were screened at the time, but it was my first time to screen Supper.
Ah, okay.
That's the newest, latest film, so. Yeah, it was nice to finally share it with the audience out there.
I see. So for Supper, it was the debut stage.
Yes.
I just really wanted to mention opera once more because, of course, that was the one, the Oscar-nominated film. All right, let's move on then, Walter.
Yes, and well, congratulations for starters for going to this festival. And I'm sure you were very nervous leading up to the event, but now it's all said and done. So Animafest Zagreb is not the only prestigious film event you were invited to. I mean, your works have been recognized globally in Hiroshima in Japan, as well as Ottawa, Canada, Annecy in France, and many more other countries as well. How does it feel to be at those sort of events? And personally for you, are there any sort of events or awards, nominations that mean maybe more personal towards you, or are they all very special to you?
Yeah, it is all very special to me. And then first of all, it's incredible to be recognized. Of course, we don't make films or artwork to get the award or be screened, but that kind of recognition really encourages me, that it's a sign that, you're doing a good job and then keep going, right? Because filmmaking process can be really tough because every stage is a struggle.
Right.
So, definitely it's not a lie if I have to say there are moments I want to just give up or just let things go, but that kind of moments really remind me that, you're making something special. And then, of course, I cannot, skip the event of the Academy Awards, So that has been an incredible journey for me. And after that, I was able to, tell the story in a bigger scale. So that's really, really means a lot to me.
Now, Director Oh, let's talk about your career a little bit. So you used to work at Pixar. So Pixar, I mean, who doesn't like Pixar animation movies? So tell us how you got to start your journey there at one of the world's most popular animation studios.
Well, from internship. I was very lucky, So before Pixar, I was making films. So I ended up sending Pixar, a collection of my short films, and then they got me. So they got me an opportunity to, hey, just come over here, spend 12 weeks, and see how you could hustle and survive. And thankfully, I was able to prove a bit of the sensibility that maybe I could do it. Maybe I could speak the Pixar's language. So after that, I was able to stay and spend another 7 years as an animator at Pixar. And it was incredible,
And for you, how was the experience there, and which productions have you been involved in? And is there anything in particular that you got from Pixar that you will sort of take and use for the rest of your life in your productions?
Oh my gosh, so many things. But first of all, I worked on Inside Out, the first one.
Oh, wow.
And
one of my favorites.
Thank you. One of my favorites, too. And then Coco.
Oh, wow.
And Finding Dory, that's the sequel of Finding Nemo. and then Monsters University, and more. And then there are so many things I learned during the process, but one of the biggest thing is communication and collaboration, because we are doing many people, really talented people, get together, have the same goal, and do their best to make something great and special. And then communication is the key, because it's not a solo play. It's not like, no matter how talented you are, how skillful you are, you have to share thoughts, inspire each other, sometimes listen to each other, and then create something as one.
Is there maybe one character or one of your favorite characters that you remember from Pixar back in the days?
There's one character with a love and hate relationship. The octopus from the Finding Dory.
Hank? Was
Hank,
it Hank?
yes, Hank, that orange grumpy. Because obviously animating the octopus is hard. But not only that, I was one of the key animators who really gave life and birth to that character. So I spent literally 2 years of my life with that character. So yeah, so I have to choose Hank.
Okay, I should go back and watch it again.
Please.
All right, now, Director Oh, I'm sure you feel the Hallyu boom around you. I mean, you're based in California, and we just talked about it earlier in the show, but we also have this animation movie, K-pop Demon Hunters, which is an American movie that's topping the charts. So do you also use these Korean elements in your productions, and in what kind of way?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, I mean, maybe yes and no, because even if I don't intend to do it, it just comes out naturally. So even if I tell my story from very sincere and from the personal space, it does come out, right? And then there's for example, there's one film I made titled Namu, tree in Korean. So it's really literally about Tree of Memories, inspired by my loss of my grandfather. It happened a long time ago. But that film, because it was talking about one human being's life journey from birth to the death, and then I was using lots of Korean elements. And then at the end of the day, I ended up making the title of the film Namu as well. So yeah.
So, like, was that sort of something like more of a personal project, or was that something that also you wanted to release as, something for the world to see, or was that something that you just were like, oh, I need to make this to soothe my soul, or I need to make this to express myself?
Oh, very good question. It started as my personal expression, but ended up getting a great distributors. So in the States, we released it from HBO Max.
Oh, wow.
So it's been streaming for about a year. And then it was able to view as a VR content too. So with the headset, it was released in a Meta Oculus store. So it was around in the States. Hopefully I have a chance to release it in Korea as well.
Oh, we'd love to watch it in
That's
Korea.
a beautiful story. So what's quite interesting is another animated film that made headlines in the US and here in Korea as well was The King of Kings, all right? A Korean-American production which was huge in North America, and I have no doubt that it's probably going to be very, very big here in Korea. So how do you think the status of K-animation has changed over the years?
Oh, wow. Big change. Like every year, it feels like different, world, But I think that's something we all feel from everywhere else. But especially being in the States side, because I've been in this industry for past 15 years. And then even when I was beginning my career, the presence wasn't really there, right? It was before Psy, it was before BTS, obviously. So we were considered as a minority, but right now, not really, So it's no longer niche market anymore. So people talk about it, and even places like Netflix, people do talk about Korean contents. It doesn't have to be K-pop, specifically, but so yes, I feel it. And then even from my creator side, I do have to think about it, because it just opens lots more doors for the creators, but not only creators, but also for the audience. You know? Yeah.
All right, now Director Oh, you earlier mentioned your grandfather for a moment, who probably inspired you as you talked about Namu before. Now let's talk about your father, who's a KAIST professor, Oh Jun-ho, and he's known as the creator of Hallyu, which is a humanoid robot, and it was the first robot that participated as a torchbearer at the Olympics, and that was at the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. So does your father inspire you, or does he affect your creational work?
100,000%.
Wow.
Yes, you know, so people often ask me, hey, you do something totally different from what your father does. But what I say is, I don't think so, because the science and art at the end of the day is the same thing. We reach for the answer, and how we approach is just different. You know, so it's all about asking questions and answer them, figure things out. And most importantly, if I see my father figuring things out, it's very creative. He's almost an artist or inventor. So to make the like robot walk, right? It just asks for ingenuity. It asks for creative, you know, problem-solving technique. And then I think that really came into my gene, I guess. You know, so the way that my father does his stuff, you know, has been a huge inspiration for me, even to this day. So yeah.
It looks like creativity lies in the family. Now, last but not least, do you have a message? Probably you have a lot of messages that you want to convey through your work. And for viewers who want to know you better, which of your works would you like to recommend? And also, how can we watch them? I guess it's different compared to from where you watch your works. As you earlier mentioned, some of it is more targeted in the US, and maybe some of it in other countries. So what would you say? What would be your recommendation? And what is your final message?
Thank you. First of all, we did talk about the opera, the Academy-nominated short. And then good news is that it's now being played in Korea right at this moment. So opera is actually media art installation animation. It was very experimental. So it's something you can view in the space, not only the theater, you can walk around. So right now in Jeju Island, you know, opera exhibition is happening right now until the end of this year. So don't wait to fly to Jeju. Not only opera, supper, and then some other of my works are being screened there. So go check it out, because it does talk about, as you asked, the message, right? So message about, I do talk about some darkness or some sad part of our life, but also I'm trying to seek for the reason why we have to carry on, why you have to keep on holding on to things we shouldn't give up. So that's the message I love to constantly study and also convey, hopefully. Yeah.
Wow, wonderful. And I guess that's with that message, you're going to provide the world with many more creative works in the future. And thank you very much, Director Oh, for sharing your story with us today.
It's been an honor.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And thank you, Walter. As always, we're going to have you back here tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.